Harry and Meghan have got the South Park treatment. The episode has just gone to air in the United States.
These two are not sincere people. They say that they want their privacy.
Tyler Perry was once their guardian angel. He let Prince Harry and Meghan Markle stay in his Los Angeles property when they left the UK. No press, no paparazzi, just tranquility. At least, that's what the narrative said. Now, the same guy who gave them a safe place to stay may be the one who is destroying it all. Not out of spite, but because he is free to do so. Meghan didn't defend Perry when he was hit with a $260 million 0 cents lawsuit for workplace misconduct. She stayed quiet. And by doing this, she may have triggered a hazardous provision that was hidden deep in a secret agreement.
Tyler Perry was one of the few A-listers who loudly defended Harry and Meghan after the Oprah interview. He gave them a home, a private jet, an exit strategy. And now, amid serious allegations, Harry and Meghan have gone silent. Harry once told Anderson Cooper silence is betrayal.
Holy shit. He said what?
Breaking right now, Thomas Markle Jr., the sister of Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, has lashed out at his sister and her husband Prince Harry in the most brutal interview he has ever given.
Have you ever seen that video?
No.
Pull that video up, because it's one of my favorite.
It's really a little bit disturbing, saying that, you know, she doesn't have a family, she doesn't have a father, and then Harry saying that she has no father now. That's just ridiculous.
I think she's taking advantage of a very weakened man and getting him to say things that you just shouldn't be saying on television.
Meghan Markle is always attempting to, shall we say, build relationships with very, very, very rich men.
Royal family, you should be so thankful this woman wanted to leave, because she's not going to bring any good to the branding of royal. She's going to downgrade it to a level of ghetto, and that's what it is. This is just bad.
August 4th, 40 years ago, Meghan was born, and she was born as a C-section, so she was put in my arm. I was the first person to hold her. Her little hand went around my fingers like that, and I fell in love with her, and I've been that way for 40 years.
Okay. Am I there?
I really do miss her.
I hope you're having the best birthday you've ever had. Thank you for everything.
Do you still love your daughter?
Of course I do. I love my children. I love my other daughter. I love my son. Of course I love her.
The Sussexes have always said that honesty was the foundation of their existence and that they left royal responsibilities to be free, heal, and speak the truth. But today, that story is under challenge. Because if Tyler Perry actually possesses what insiders claim he does, emails, voice notes, strategy calls, then their beautifully polished image might be nothing more than a marketing campaign predicated on selective narrative. Let's rewind for a second. When Harry and Meghan initially came in the US, it wasn't the Netflix contract or the Spotify podcast that kept them afloat. It was Tyler Perry. He not only offered them a home to reside in, but also protection, privacy, and respectability in Hollywood. And in exchange, they granted him something symbolic, the title of godfather to their daughter, Lilibet. But here is when things become tricky. There was no ceremonial christening, no verifiable information, and no public recognition from the palace, just a sentence dropped in their Netflix docuseries. Skeptics raised eyebrows at the time, but today the questions are loud. Was it genuine or was it PR? Because when Perry was slammed with his lawsuit, Meghan went underground. Posts were removed, mentions eliminated, photos disappeared. One day, he was the cornerstone of their new existence. The next, radio silence. And that quiet wasn't simply loud. It could have been contractual suicide. Legal sources close to the issue suggest Perry and the Sussexes had a non-disclosure agreement, but with a twist. If Perry were ever publicly cut off, he would be free to talk. Meghan's digital eraser could have prompted just that. And if he talks, it won't be unclear. Word is, he's got receipts. Not the type that get thrown aside in tabloids, but actual unvarnished stuff. Recordings from the days they pitched Netflix, secret planning meetings, honest communications, things that suggest the story wasn't simply genuine emotion. It was scripted, curated for compassion, packaged for profit. If you've followed Meghan and Harry's post-royal path, you've seen the pattern. Passionate interviews, sobbing admissions, perfectly planned media appearances that grab attention when things go wrong. When Perry's scandal erupted, what did Meghan do? She dropped lifestyle blog entries, posed for gorgeous images with wine glasses and soft filters. It's a formula. Control the narrative, shift the attention. But this time, the diversion isn't working. The public isn't buying it. Hashtags like Tyler Knows All are popping up. Former admirers are questioning everything.
There's a new documentary investigating the Sussexes titled Where Did the Money Go?
Hey, it's the husband formerly known as Prince. Any luck getting a job?
Oh, they had me driving for Uber Eats, but there were too many damn rules. Don't touch the food, don't taste the food, drive on the road.
I'm sorry, Rowdy Weddy.
If you think about it, Meghan got everything she wanted. She got the husband, she got the children, she got the HRA, she got everything that allowed her to rise up and have that global recognition that we know how badly she wanted that.
Elon built electric cars, he's going to Mars. Why is he even involving himself with Twitter? It would be like if the Prince of England gave it all up just to marry an actor from Suits.
I've read Spare. I've read it cover to cover. They are a damaged couple. They are people in trauma.
Hey.
Did you know it's cold in there?
Yeah.
Must be an American thing.
It's not.
But wait, watch this. Amazing, right? This might be the smallest palace I've ever been in.
An apartment, so.
Yes. An apartment palace, I know that.
What's this all about, Esther? Anything surprising?
Well, it was a Channel 5 investigation as to the state of the Sussexes' finances. Now, we know they didn't move to a two-bedroom cottage somewhere in the middle of nowhere. They're living in quite a large mansion in Montecito.
Can we rally him up here and finally have our own privacy? My love, I will do anything for your privacy.
Yeah, I loved it.
And one of the things that Prince Harry made very public when he left the royal family, one of the things that he was quite disgruntled about was the fact that his father basically cut him off financially. So really they were in a state where they had to make a lot of money and a lot of money fast. He blundered in a video and said, the Netflix deal was an idea that was pitched to him and he had to basically pay for his family's security, which I'm sure if you're giving the Sussexes $100 million deal, you're not happy to hear that the people only took it just so they could pay for lifelong security.
One tweet that went viral stated it best. We defended Meghan when it mattered, but if this was all a deception, we were used. That's the knife twist. If Perry discovers the Godfather title was fake, or worse, utilizes a marketing move, then even their child's picture was part of the spin.
Strategically placed loyalty can mean survival. If Harry and Meghan backed Perry, it could encourage others to do the same. But instead, their silence feels like pure self-preservation.
Do you think your sister, Meghan Markle, has ruined Prince Harry?
The answer is yes. I mean, every single interview, every single picture, every place they go, Meghan grabs him. Meghan controls him. Meghan tells him no. Meghan stands in front of him. She controls every single situation like she is the star. And she's turned Prince Harry into a man of non-substance, for her own well-being.
Strong as it once was. And as I've observed Meghan over time, I think sometimes she becomes overbearing to people, especially to those who she thinks she can get something from, private jets, a house or whatever.
Very well known in the US, a very world famous, well-respected TV producer and film producer. There have been some sexual assault claims made by him. It's a chap called Derek Dixon, and it's a $260 million lawsuit.
Watch how quickly they drop him, seriously. I mean, just watch how quickly they go, oh, sorry, toxic brand, gonna step away from you, even though they're the ones who are really toxic. So I just think it's gonna be another person who's just...
And this goes deeper. If the recordings demonstrate the Netflix material was stage managed, that interviews were planned for effect, then it's not just a PR nightmare, it's a credibility breakdown. Their bargains, their power, their public sympathy, it all relies on the thread of genuineness. And Perry? He may be the one with the scissors in hand. Behind the scenes in Montecito, things were never as tranquil as they appeared. While the public watched a couple drinking tea and chatting about healing, insiders were watching something else entirely. A strategic empire being established. Tyler Perry wasn't simply a buddy with a spare home. He was part of the inner circle. privy to private calls, personal breakdowns, and big picture choices. Now, the one person they once trusted with everything could be the one to disclose how it all truly worked. It wasn't just about refuge. Perry was engaged in some of the most crucial occasions throughout the Sussexes' shift. Sources allege he listened in on negotiations regarding media rights, helped them prepare talking points, and even given advice on how to phrase their royal leaving for maximum emotional weight. Emails were written, voice notes exchanged, late-night conversations filled with dread, ambition, and branding ideas.
Have any advice for Harry?
Yeah, stop talking about the royals. Stop giving away all the secrets about the royals. And, love your children and love your wife. But also love your grandmother and love your father. Well, that's her first wedding in Jamaica. That's one of my favorite pictures. I'd like to have that experience with my granddaughter.
If you could get just one message across to your daughter now, what would it be?
As always, I do love you, and I wish we could sit down and talk about it. I'm not an ogre. I'd love to talk to her.
On the committee of this event, but wasn't on stage with Tyler Perry. Yet Oprah was, Kerry Washington was.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I'm always cautious until I can watch the full event myself, because sometimes
in the last couple of days. There was a story last week, it appeared in the Sunday Times, where there was a donor called Minerva Mondejar Steiner who had
things sort of impact what you can see. But I found it really interesting to watch sort of her interaction with Tyler Perry on the red carpet, because he seemed, I wouldn't say...
And the royal family have had a history of problems, you remember, with King Charles in the past.
There's a long history of it with Charles, and William doesn't want to get tainted like that. So as you say, he's acted immediately. He's cut himself off from someone. Cash for access is the worst.
And I think that it's just one other damaging thing to add to their now war chest of things that have been a problem for them. And, they loved using Tyler Perry's resources. They loved using his...
Where he is asked about Harry and Meghan, and he had this very kind of biting response to the Times journalist. And I think he was probably probably an interaction that he should have done a bit better in terms of PR, but...
And now, like I said, Meghan did it to me, and now Harry's doing it to his father. That's a cold thing to do, and it's even more cold to do it to the Queen, who's in her 90s. None of this makes sense.
She made any attempt to contact your father since he had his stroke?
None whatsoever. And, I totally agree with you on the fact that none of us were ever coached or given any help with the paparazzi or press since the very beginning, which has caused a lot of problems. Nobody reached out. I actually reached out.
My congratulations to Meghan and to Harry.
Harry and Meghan say they plan to call her Lily.
Lily is a perfect name. And the other thing that makes me happy is there's now about a lot more Markle blood in the royal family.
If any of this goes public, it'll corroborate what detractors have been muttering for years, that this wasn't simply a couple breaking free. It was a planned branding from nobility to fame. And at the center of this unraveling disaster is the Godfather label. When Perry was introduced as Lilibet's godfather, it was intended to be a nice homage to chosen family. But there were no formal papers, no images from a christening, nothing official. It was a verbal title uttered in passing at the time they let it slip. Now, with everything being questioned, it seems more like a PR gimmick than a holy position. Perry's quiet has been deafening. His team